Promotional consideration provided by
Tri-State Wrestling presents Proving Grounds, May 28th at the Eagles Lodge in Vincennes. Doors open at 6, bell time is at 7, and costs only $5 at the door for anyone over the age of 4. Kids 4 and under are free. Come out and see Will Bray take on Zach Hogan. The winner will decide the stipulation of their TSW World Heavyweight title match at Night of Champions. Also, check out some of the hottest local indie wrestlers trying to make a name for themselves in a match exclusive to TSW, the Proving Grounds match. Many compete, but only one can win and earn a spot on the roster. So come on out for a night of family fun, and don't worry about dinner. The Eagles have concessions on hand. So bring the whole family. All the money raised goes to help the family of Phyllis Miracle Hall, who lost her battle with cancer. Come out to the Vincennes Eagles May 28th and show your support.
A Santa vlog!
Hello and welcome to the 10 Count Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Tiller. Wherever you are and however you're listening, thanks for making us a part of your day. Before we go any further, we are fan and listener supported. We bring this podcast to you for free every Saturday. Be sure and support us by subscribing on iTunes and SoundCloud. And while you're at it, go ahead and rate us on iTunes. A 5-star rating helps us get some attention, attract new listeners and sponsors. You can also visit our website, 10countblog.wordpress.com. We post every podcast there, as well as some cool blog entries. Featured this week is the predictions article for tonight's Tri-State Wrestling event in Princeton, Indiana. You can also check out our social media and podcasts page. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Check out some of our favorite podcasts there as well. And finally, be sure to check out our local indie promotions page, where we've provided links to some of the area's hottest indie promotions. That's all at 10countblog.wordpress.com. Our guests this week have taken over 10 Count Blog, and they've allowed me some supervised computer time to put together this week's podcast. Mike Blitz and Michael Madrox, the Juggernauts, are on this week. In all seriousness, it was a great interview, a long one at that. It was so long, in fact, it has to be split up into 2 parts. And that makes sense because it's the first time we've had a tag team on 10 Count Podcast. We're going to talk humble beginnings, boy bands, and toward the end, we'll get a little into injuries and some more serious topics like CTE research, among other things. I do have to put a disclaimer out, though. We don't consider this to be a, quote, rated podcast. All of our guests are free to say whatever they want. However, some of the language in this week's podcast may not be for the faint of heart. So if you're easily offended, you may want to steer clear. Standard boilerplate language for a warning like this may read, "The views and opinions expressed by the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 10 Count Blog or its ownership." Now that that's out of the way, we want to make sure we give our friends at Rollick a plug. They've allowed us to use their song, Snorkeling into Oblivion, as the official theme for the 10 Count Podcast. Be sure to head on over to Facebook and give them a like. Take a moment and download their latest album. They're giving that to you for free. And if you're in the Vincennes area on June 25th around 2 p.m., go check out their event, the Rollick Frolic, at the Vincennes Riverfront Pavilion on 2nd Street. Lots of great bands on the card for that one of which has a connection to 10 Count Podcast. But we'll announce that little bit of news later. So sit back, relax, and enjoy part 1 of 10 Count's conversation with the Juggernauts.
promotional consideration provided by
Evansville, Indiana, on Saturday, May 28th. Get ready for an exciting night of professional wrestling as CCW proudly presents Redemption. Eddie Young and the real deal Derek Neal collide in a grudge match that's guaranteed to bring the house down. After ruthless attacks, LT Falk and Fireball Roberts team up to take on Stan Sierra and the Double R superstar Randy Royal. Also in action, legendary Larry D, Picture Perfect Jordan Cage, Mark Houston, and many more. Witness all the hard-hitting action on May 28th at the legendary Evansville Memorial Coliseum. Tickets on sale now at the Coliseum box office. General admission is only $10 or $5 with a valid military ID. VIP tables also available. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. and bell time is at 7:30 p.m. Check out the CCW Facebook page for more info. CCW Redemption on May 28th. A legacy will be born. Be there.
How are you guys this evening?
I'm good.
I'm alright, but I'd be better if we had a formal introduction.
Well, you'll get that actually in the intro that I write.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like a whole produced segment right before
I thought
this.
you were just lazy.
No, it's okay. Yeah, just we don't do things professionally around here. Obviously, I'm just a mark with an
Well, you
iPhone.
have us on the show, so professionals out the window.
Well, I don't know about that, but you guys, we sat here and chatted for a little bit before we started the podcast, and I'm really looking forward to this episode. We were making comments. I think this might end up being a two-parter if my page of notes that I took, that's 5 times as much as I've had for anybody else, ends up working out. So anyway, guys, great to have you guys on. Thank you for coming down. By far, you guys have come the farthest to be on the 10 Count podcast, so appreciate that. Talk a little bit about how you guys got into wrestling and some of the things that you've been into since you've been in.
Started at 15. It's the first time I was in a ring. Been doing it ever since. I've wrestled all over Indiana, Illinois, parts of Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee. I like violence. I like alcohol. And those two things kind of just went hand in hand with wrestling. So that's one of the reasons I jumped in. Blitz, what about yourself?
Well, the story is just one day stumbled upon this big man here, and we got to talking about wrestling, and said he had a ring, and I didn't believe him. He showed me the wrestling ring, and he started training me along with some other people that had trained me, and kind of the rest was history.
And it kind of snowballed from there. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. You guys really didn't like each other when you first met. Talk a little bit about that.
All right, when I first met this guy, he was the little creepy Mexican guy at a
Whoa,
local Terre Haute Poker
creepy.
League. Okay, any Mexican that comes in with little basketball shorts and little white T-shirts with ankle-high socks and little toe shoes is a creepy Mexican in my book.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
I
Fair.
have to put a disclaimer on this, guys.
That's fine.
Fair enough point. But all right. So you would come in, sit at my table, and just be loud, obnoxious. And
It's the only thing I'm good at.
Okay. All right. So, anyways, we played in this poker league that was running around Terre Haute, and we ended up always sitting at each other's tables and always just going at it, arguing back and forth. And
It was the highlight of my night, pissing this man off.
yeah, pretty much. It kind of seemed like that.
King 4, baby!
Yeah. Fuck your King 4. Jack Deuce. Jack Deuce. But we would just always head to head, and always just say one smart thing after another to each other. And eventually, one of the nights wrestling was on, and we just started talking about wrestling and just different stuff about it, and found a common ground, I guess, to, really see eye to eye at something. And then after that, we just started. When we sat at tables, we'd sit next to each other talking about wrestling, and people would just be yelling at us to, let's go, and we'd be
I corrupted the dirty little Mexican.
and we would just be saying smart-ass comments to pretty much everybody else that's at the table, and they started hating us sitting by each other, so they separated us, and that's pretty much, the story of I hated this big ogre, and he hated, I guess.
I still hate your fiance.
Okay. We're
Just kidding. Don't hit me.
I don't know about just kidding based on some of the things I saw on Facebook earlier. We won't get into that. Just to kind of save face. But so talk to me a little bit about how you guys were wrestling at this point. I mean, basically it was full time at this point. Talk a little bit about the wear and tear that it took, and how the friendship developed, and how you guys got involved in different promotions.
Well, at the time, I was full-time. He was just training. So when I didn't have a show, I'd call him up and be like, hey, get to the ring. We got Jason Light was one of his influencers in the ring. I'd always bring him out there to help with Blitz. Ray Lincoln, Oliver Kane, phenomenal talent all the way across the board. Mikey Guess, David Vasquez. So he actually got brought up by so many minds all at once, which I think benefited him in the long run. But for myself, I was out doing TSW, ICW, CWF, IWAU, Juggernaut Pro, just any fed that would have me at the time. I was out there trying to get all the shows I could, because at the time, the Juggernauts were myself and JC Hero. And then JC Hero broke his back, and then I got Tank as my Juggernaut tag team partner. Tank broke his ankle. It may or may not have happened in a last man standing match with myself, but we'll leave that for a different time. And then Mikey Guess actually hopped on. Michael Madrox and Toxic were the Juggernauts down in AWF until he broke his wrist. And then I was stuck without a partner forever until I decided, hey, everyone hates us in real life. Why can't we just do this in front of people, amplified? And that's when he started coming into doing shows.
Blitz, what was it like for you when you first got involved in being this guy's tag team partner? Because you guys kind of went back and forth from being partners to foes and faces and heels. And, I mean, there's been kind of a up and down. I mean, kind of like what you want a storyline to be, up and down.
Yeah, well, like any good friendship or anything like that, there's always going to be the up and downs. There's roller coasters, and I think that's what kind of symbolizes our friendship more than any. When I first got in, I just wanted to learn as much as possible and as quick as possible, and just try to respect everybody and do everything that I could. And our first show down at ICW,
He broke my tooth.
yeah, me and him and Richard, JC Hero, were tagging. They were partners at the time, and they sucked me with Sean Franklin to team with.
That's Don Tony V. I don't care what they say, what name changes. That is not Sean Franklin. That is Don Tony V. That's all.
Sean Franklin. Chill. Take it down. Chill. All right. But we were tagging, and they just came out and clocked us, and we started a tag match from there, and I learned a lot that night from it, even though the powerbomb, head-to-head, yeah. I ended up chipping one of his teeth, and
He's never taken a suplex powerbomb combo again because somebody can't tuck.
hey, blame your partner, not me.
Well, I was about to say, speaking of chipped teeth and power bombs, you were telling a story a little bit earlier about breaking somebody's teeth on one of those. Was that you, or was that somebody else?
No, I caught a broken tooth from his forehead because when the guy dropped him for the suplex and I came down for the powerbomb, they shoved his head up with their shoulder. Instant comeback. But Bo Sawyer's in this story. He was working a tag match with Rough Cut, Josh Still and Bo Sawyer. Bo picks this little guy up for a powerbomb and plants him with it so hard, Bo kind of got some male organs in the face so hard that his whole tooth broke in half. And
Yeah, balls of steel.
sorry, Bo, we had to break it up.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that AC/DC CD cover where they had the two giant balls. Have you seen that one? Yeah. I can't imagine more nicknames, though. I'm surprised more didn't come out of that.
Blaine Black saved that story.
Yeah, sorry, Blaine. We're gonna have to tell this story. I think it was pretty much the week after him and Bo had a match, and Bo's really good at chops. Let's just say that, and he chopped him pretty good. And next thing you know, supposedly he said, "Oh shit," in the ring, and Bo said, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "I'm pretty sure I just shit my pants."
So Blitz's tooth-breaking testicles got a slide-by a poop accident. So the nicknames kind of ceased to stop there. Lucky for him and his balls of steel.
And he's in good company, though. And Blaine, I told him before this not to say anything because I wanted to make sure you got on. But anyway, never mind. But you're in good company. CM Punk did the same thing. So anyway, so talk a little bit about some of the promotions you guys have done. I know you talked about CWF and working up in Terre Haute a little bit. You kind of jumped in on some of these promotions locally here in their humble beginnings. Talk a little bit about what it was like coming up through those promotions.
Well, CWF, I was there from the start until the end. That was a few buddies, bought a ring, and then Mikey Guess actually called me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to come out and start working with these guys?" And I was like, "Absolutely." Then started doing shows, and the shows just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then Mikey and half the roster went and started New Wave Pro, and then there was still CWF, and Terre Haute really wasn't big enough for both shows, so CWF is pretty much dead. But like TSW, I got brought out the first time by Bo Sawyer. At the time, he was Cody Ray Strong. Brought me in for a tag match and met Barry, met Steven, met a few of the guys that are still there. Got along great with him and offered my services. I was like, anytime you guys need me, just let me know. If I'm not taking a booking somewhere else, I'll be here first thing. And to see TSW from where it started when I was there, when I first came in 5-6 years ago, from 5 to 10 people in the crowd to standing room only at the past few shows, it's amazing. The talent they got is getting better and better and better. You guys got like Will Bray, Blaine Black, Zach Hogan, Johnny Watts, the Juggernauts, of course. I mean, we are the show, but the talent there is just thriving, and everyone's there to thrive off of each other. It's not about putting someone down or attacks or anything like that. It's to make yourself go out there and have fun and make sure your opponent has fun, everyone's safe, and the crowd goes home happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want you to do a shoot or anything like that, but talk a little bit about some of the things that have changed since you got to TSW and other promotions as well. I don't want to just single out TSW in this, but some of the things that have changed as a part of these promotions you've been involved in since you started.
Crappy booking, for one. TSW, when I first came in, I'll shoot. I don't care if they hate me. They love me. But there was like 4 guys that had like 19 different mask characters, and thankfully that has subsided to slim and none. Because, I mean, you go out there for a show, you got 9 matches on the card, normally TSW 8-9 matches, and then you got 40 different guys in the back, all different masks and everything else, all went on that show. They went from having one singles match just as the main event, and every other match being like fatal 4-way tag matches, 6 ways, 5 ways,
Battle Royals,
and actually down to telling stories now and letting these guys progress and giving the guys the opportunity to showcase their talents instead of just being thrown into any which way they're going to have them in. It's pretty amazing. As far as the other companies, like AWF was always fun. Matt Maverick, great guy. He was one of the main bookers down there along with Walter Barron. It's official. I'm a Walter Barron guy. I love Walt. IWAU, Josh Totten, Walt, all them guys, amazing. Nothing bad to say about any of the companies. It's little things that they all saw that needed approved, and they've all approved. I mean, it's great to see independent wrestling in the state and Illinois thriving the way it is.
Which I kind of want to touch on that, because I know back in the locker room there's always certain people don't like certain people, you know, this Fed doesn't like that Fed, and I don't understand why. The fact that, you know, it's thriving. It's a good product, and like he said, TSW is. I came partway through towards the end of it, and I still saw all the mask characters and everything like that, but I got to see the full change and turn of TSW when Will Bray first came in, when Zach Hogan first came in, when Sam Knight was there. I was actually part of Sam Knight's first match that was down there at TSW. When CWF, when I first started, I was pretty much just like a ring guy at CWF. I had maybe one match at CWF before it folded, and that was it. Mikey started New Wave Pro, and me and Madrox here went and worked a couple matches for him. We don't hold any bad blood towards him, but it's just something that, you know, we haven't gotten over. Well, overall, CWF New Wave, I just seemed like there was bad blood there once that how it broke down and everything like that. But
pointlessness.
Yeah, pretty much. But
we're all boys. Can't we all just get along and hit each other?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I hate you and sometimes you hate me, but it is what it is.
It's a lot.
I was about to say that's the essence of a relationship between guys, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But all in all, it's just booking wise, that's what it all boils down to, is telling stories, and something to kind of go along with that. When I first broke in, I was about a year in, and me and him were tagging, we were doing fine, we were doing good, but it just seemed like we weren't doing anything. I wasn't telling a story, and at that point I never really got a story at that point. So me and him just kind of sitting around one day playing Call of Duty, drinking some beers, And I just kind of look over at his wall, and he looks over, and just we're like talking back and forth. I look over his wall and I see all these belts hanging, and I'm just kind of like, why don't I turn face and you can stay the heel, and we'll tell a story? And he said, well, we'll see if this is what Steven and Barry want to do, and we'll talk to him when we get there. And I said, all right. And along the way of the car ride, this guy's like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna hang you with your belt. And I was like, what? And he said, you got a belt on, right? And I said, yeah, I got a belt on. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to hang you with your belt today. We're going to hide it on the ring before the show. We're going to do our tag match like normal. And then partway through, I'm just going to get down. And you're gonna take the pin. And you're going to lose. And then all of a sudden, he pulls out this belt, beats the holy hell out of me with it, might add you.
I had fun.
Yeah. And wrapped around my neck and threw me over the top rope and was sitting there hanging me with it. And we kind of started to feud off that, and we just kind of went back and forth for a while, and we culminated in, I think, TSW's first ever fan lumberjack strap match. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even know really how to put a name on it, but basically all the fans would surround the ring, and anytime...
The drunken idea of Michael Madrox is how you put a name on that.
Yeah, pretty much. And they would surround the ring, and anytime one of us would get thrown out, they had the liberty of beating us with these straps. Well, the match went on, and this guy gets thrown out. This big guy gets thrown out at one point, comes to clothesline me out, and I just kind of duck it, and he goes over the top. And all these fans are surrounding the ring, and then all of a sudden they notice he falls out, and they all surround him like piranhas and just start beating the holy hell out of him. And he gets in, and he's like, all right, throwing your ass out now. Picks me up and throws me out, and nothing. Not a single fan beats me with the strap. Now, at that point, in I believe his head and my head, I was like, we got them. This is how you tell a story. You build a face up, you build a heel up, and you want the fans to hate the heel so much they want to beat the holy hell out of them.
And they did. I had marks for 3 weeks afterwards across my back, chest, face, legs.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do you get to a point where you trust the fans enough to actually hit you with a strap? Because you know they're not going to hold back.
See, what you do is you don't trust the fact the fans ain't going to hold back. You do it in the arena where there's a bar right behind the entrance. And I kid you not, how many beers did I have after that show?
I lost count on the ride home. Let's just say that. That was, needless to say, I had a concussion from that match.
You called the brainbuster on the floor, not me.
No, you called the suplex on the floor and brainbuster.
And then you said brainbuster halfway through it.
No, I did not.
Yes, he did.
All right.
He's lying.
All right, but anyways, I had a concussion from that match. My fiance had to drive home. I wouldn't even want to talk about it. You're just laying in the back the whole time. Ow, ow, ow. I'm like, just shut up and drink your beer. I am. I haven't had enough of them. But
I tried going to the strip club after that match, too.
Yeah.
You wouldn't let me go.
No, you had enough beating. And the welts that were on you the next day was hilarious. But pretty much that's I mean, what I still consider one of probably the best story that I've ever told in the ring was what I got to do with you. We worked better part of a year building that up, and that wasn't even the climax of that feud. We went on to be the semi-main of Jasper, and
that was supposed to be the climax of that feud, but the fans wanted more. The bloodthirsty savages they are.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we did a ladder match down in Jasper to end that whole spat, and we decided, that's it, that's enough. We, had enough, and had a hell of a match there. Jumped off a balcony.
Okay, I gotta stop you. Ladder match. I don't think I've ever had anybody on my show that's done a ladder match. So take me through that. Where were you at in Jasper first and foremost that even allowed you to do something like this?
I don't think the building allowed it because they didn't have any knowledge of it until we got there. We just decided to throw ladders in the car. So
somehow Steven, and I want to say it was Jordan Kelly, probably better known as Xander Kelly, introduced Steven and Barry to people who were Jasper Engines as a sponsor. Well, they ended up actually getting us the building to do it. And the show that they came down and saw to officially approve it was the night me and him did the strap match. And just for me doing high-flying stuff and seeing how we interact with the crowd and stuff like that, they absolutely fell in love with TSW.
They told Barry and Steven that they don't care who comes and works the show as long as Michael Madrox versus Mike Blitz was one of the matches featured. And we were like, well, great, this was supposed to be our blow-off match. How are we going to tap a fan strap match?
So we go and think about it, and Barry's like, well, you guys can do a ladder match. Well, neither one of us have a title. Neither one of us have anything going for us other than this story. So what do? Put our good old mind to use, and we go and look through the Goodwill and find
Salvation Army this time.
Oh, Salvation Army. Okay, Salvation Army, and we find an adult diaper. So, needless to say, it was loser wears the diaper match, and fought and clawed and scratched my way up the ladder, taking
You put me through a table, you asshole.
You put yourself through the table.
You
Okay.
moved! You were supposed to go through it.
Yeah, well, I decided the last second that it wasn't a very, very good idea for me to go through a table. And we got in trouble for breaking that table, remember? If memory serves me correctly, that was supposed to be the table for the main event, and we...
Okay, but here's the difference. In indie wrestling, you listen to the fans. I don't care what indie, WWE, fans want table, and they're chanting, we want table. I'm giving them a table if there's a damn table under the ring. Sorry, Steven.
But it ended up being, I think, probably... You know, I still like that match, but I mean, there was still another better ladder match that I did for the what was the TSW Adrenaline division at the time.
He says better ladder match, but my match, 2 matches before this ladder match that lasted 10 seconds, out-popped the whole match of this ladder match. So
that's because I was there doing the promo with you. That's why.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I was there, it put it over. All right, we'll just put it that way. Let's just say
out-popped. Sorry.
All right, we'll go
10 seconds.
All right, we'll rewind that real quick. And all right, so the story with that is here's the story on that. Well, this guy, I go to his house just randomly to pick him up for not really randomly. I pick him up to get ready to the show, and he goes, "I got the best idea ever." And he goes, "What?" And he goes, "I got something in the mail." Pulls out this whole box of toothbrushes, and I was like, "Please don't tell me we're handing those out." And he said, "Yes, we are." So, go to the show, we come out, and we do, I guess you'd call it a fake face turn, and we start proceeding
We
to
call that a swerve.
Yeah, we'll swerve it, and start handing all these toothbrushes out to fans, and they're like, yeah, like, getting all behind us and everything. And then next thing you know, this guy gets on the mic, and he's like, yeah, you like all this free stuff? And they're like, yeah! And he goes, it's to better your dental hygiene. And
I've never seen so many toothbrushes fly on my face at one time before in my life.
We even had a step-by-step chart that we went through with them.
We had to skip step 7, though. Brush the front of your teeth because half that crowd did not have the front of their teeth.
Step-by-step on how to brush their teeth. Well, his opponent at the time, Fuzz Malachi, which I absolutely love the guy. He's crazy as we are. And
I don't. He beat me in 10 seconds.
Well,
I still love you, Fuzz.
You should have hit the clothesline. But pretty much he comes out, and little did we really know like how great this would work out, because we get in there and we throw a toothbrush at him as well. And what does this guy do? He pulls out his teeth. He has freaking false teeth, man. Like,
you could have booked this better, and we didn't think this through.
We didn't even think it through. It just like, he's like, this isn't going to work for me. So it was just like one of those perfect moments. Well, the bell rings, and
I throw a clothesline, he ducks, I hit the ropes, he gives me a black hole slam, 1, 2, 3, 10 seconds, bell to bell. And it would have been shorter, but the referee was so confused on what just happened, he didn't call for the bell.
So it literally lasted 10 seconds and got a great reaction.
Standing ovation.
It was probably... And then on our way out, we got even more toothbrushes. I don't know how they got them thrown at us. And
they were going to our concession stand buying the extra toothbrushes to throw at our faces.
You know you're over when people are literally buying your merch just to toss it at you.
Oh, yeah.
But it was one of those feel-good moments that we had. And then later in the night, I was in a ladder match that had featured many different people. Venom, Robert Stryker, Emo Kidwowski, Nathan Blasey, myself, and it was probably one of the most physically grueling matches that I went through myself.
I just sat at the merch table and sold more toothbrushes. It wasn't physical at all for me.
Well, Robert ended up winning that match, but I think overall in that match, it was probably one of the best ladder matches that TSW's ever had, and it's something that I've been working to try to get the Adrenaline division back, because it's just basically a bunch of smaller guys like myself doing high-flying stuff, doing basically all the cruiserweight stuff.
There's too many belts already, though.
Yeah. They would have to get rid of one or change one into it, kind of like they did with the AWA Memorial title or whatever. It's just basically one of those things we don't have the bodies to do. They don't have enough titles.
We're gonna win the tag titles, and they're gonna become the Adrenaline Tag Team Champions. Book it, Booker, man. I'm the world's largest cruiserweight.
I like this idea, and yeah, we did talk about it at a point in time, making you the world's largest cruiserweight.
It's true.
I still want to see a Hurricane Rana or a head scissors from you.
I can make this happen right now. You want it?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's make it happen. I gotta ask you this. You talk about getting beat in 10 seconds. I want to talk about the shortest tag team title reign.
Yes,
we got that up, did we?
We got to talk about that.
We gotta bring this up.
We don't have to bring it up.
All right.
You just want to bring it up.
This gentleman to my right, which you can't see, which is probably a good thing because he's kind of dancing and pulling up a shirt, but nonetheless.
Yep, I'm about to go to your left.
Little magical Mike Blitz here. Shortest title reign in TSW history. My tag team partner, JC Hero, got injured at the time, broke his back. So I was stuck with these tag straps. So I was like, who can I give one to? And I'm like, I know. Little Magic Michael Blitz.
Magic.
Yes. So I gave him the title at the beginning of the show, and then less than an hour later, we start our tag match against Emo and Fuzz, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Emo and Fuzz.
And I told him to finish the match to prove to me he was worthy, and he got his little ass kicked from corner to corner and then set on by a fat guy. So he lost us the tag titles.
He gave me the Black Hole Slam, the same move he gave you, and
it's different.
You
when
didn't
it's
kick
different
out
when I take it.
You didn't kick out, so I don't want to hear it.
You caught me off guard. What's your excuse? He kicked your ass. There's a difference. So we got an hour reign champion over here.
Hey, you know what? It should have been longer, except for the fact
you lost the match.
You were just, being a bitch and just hanging outside the ring.
I told you to win it for me. I wanted a night off.
I can't help it that you're not in good enough shape to actually, do that.
Hey, I got blown up one time chasing the ice cream truck, all right? You got to keep bringing that shit up.
But that's besides the point. Either way, it's fine. It will go down as the shortest reign in TSW history. That's fine.
That's fine. I got the shortest match, so.
Yeah, we'll be fine with that.
If they mix porn stars and wrestling ever, we're no good. We're not getting booked.
New idea for this one, okay?
Yeah.
Longest reign of TSW Tag Team Champions about to happen.
Yeah, I like that.
We deserve that title shot. Eventually, down the line, they say we have to earn it, but...
And if not, I've watched King of the Hill. I know when that's not my person. I will kick you in the balls.
Oh my god. You're hearing all this awkward silence just because I can't stop laughing. Oh my gosh. So I do want to talk to you a little bit about the current tag team titles. Now, you were gone for a little while, weren't you? Yeah, so both of you were gone for a little while. Talk a little bit about your hiatus there, and then what eventually brought you back.
My hiatus was health. My body couldn't take it as much anymore. And work, because I got to make that real money so I can, get some nice new dress clothes and look nice for the strip clubs. But that's pretty much my reason. I needed to refocus, get away from wrestling, re-energize my mind, because when you're around 30 guys every day, it gets kind of repetitive, and it's like going back to high school.
Yeah, just the mental grind of it.
You just need to, take a break and be like, wow, is this really what I want to do? Do I want to sit around with these 30 guys and complain about my life and then go out there and get all happy and then be like, nothing's wrong? Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I like doing. As for him, his reasons were different. You can explain. Yeah, it's not my issue.
It was basically just...
making porns.
Oh yeah, sure. No, it was basically just like kind of like I guess you call it life. Fiance was starting school, and
He got a job at Nickelodeon. Don't let him lie to you.
yeah, I was working at Nickelodeon. I'm sure I was. If I was, I wouldn't probably be back
The
wrestling.
Mexican version of Blue's Clues.
Yeah.
Rojo Jesus.
But she was going back to school, and I just wanted
That's all I
to.
know.
I-
Quesadilla.
I had a year-old son at the time, and I just, with her always home with him, taking care of him, I was just at the point I was just like, I'm going to do this for her and take the time off and let her go to school, let her, do what she wanted to do, follow her dream like she had allowed me to follow mine for the 4 years that I've been going around with this buffoon and doing,
You call me master, sir.
whatever, buffoon. And
It's Mr. Baboon.
so it was just basically just a life thing. And then Steven and Barry are always, great, and they understand, and they always tell both me and him that the door's always open for us to come back. They know that,
And if they ever close it, it ain't like we're not going to kick it down anyway, so they're kind of stuck with us like herpes.
yeah, in a way,
We go
they
away
really
for a
are
little
stuck-
bit, but
stuck
then when
with
they
us.
least expect it, we pop right back up and ruin their lives.
Pretty much, they're really stuck with us because it boils down to where we, in a way, we say we do what we want. We kind of really do what we want when we're out there, and as much stuff as we
Don't
take.
tell our secrets away. The other guys might get jealous.
Yeah, well, as much crap as we take for it, and sometimes Steven will get mad, like the case we used the table for what was supposed to be used for the main event, or
I had to do unquestionable things to that man to make up for that table, just so you know.
Yeah, well, that's your problem. I can't help it
I
that
still cry.
I can't help it that I have a fiance and you don't. But we'll go.
Thanks for taking the one for the team there, buddy.
Yeah, well, we'll get off topic on that. But it was just basically I just wanted to be home, spend more time with my kid, and let her follow her dream, and that's all it was. And eventually, Steven contacted me and him today. We're doing a tag show. You guys want to come down? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. And me and him got together for the first time in 5 months. We had seen each other, and we haven't seen each other in 5 months at that point, and got together, started, working on different stuff, different ideas that we were going to do, and then we find out we're in this tag team warfare and just threw a whole plan out the window and what we were going to do. So then we realized we had 3 other teams that we had to compete with to try to get a tag title shot, and then
Johnny Watts, I hate you, by the way. Just throwing that out there, diaper boy.
Hey,
Throwing it
you know
out
what?
there.
I was telling the ref the whole time. I said, "Turn around." I said, "He's got a diaper and he's shoving it in his mouth."
That ref
and he
needs
said,
fired.
"Where?" And he said, "Where would he get the diaper from?" And I said, "I don't know. Maybe he was wearing it."
Oh, he tripped in his kick pad.
Yeah.
That was probably his used diaper.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think he did pull it off out of his trunks. It wasn't in his
Or
kick pad.
Don's, for all I know.
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
Rough Rider Roy, he looked like he was making some stinky over there.
Yeah, I mean, DOC.
Ew.
No,
There wasn't enough
I-
sweat in there for DOCs. I mean, ew.
All right. So, but anyways, I mean, I was telling the ref the whole time, and I said, "Are you blind? Turn around. Look." And he's like, I'm not blind. And I said, well, you're wearing glasses, so you're probably blind. Just turn around and look. And by the time you turned around, the diaper was in your mouth, and you're running around the ring. And I'm trying to tell
I
you.
was scared. I didn't know what to do.
I'm trying to tell you to come here. You're not listening, so I can pull it out of your mouth. But, I mean, needless to say, the shit that normally comes out of your mouth, it was all in this time, okay? So, you just...
I'm still traumatized, okay? I went through 5 bottles of mouthwash just today.
Okay, but...
I hate you, Johnny. You're mean.
All right, we'll get back on Johnny.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick Johnny in the face. That's
Okay,
how I'm gonna get back on Johnny.
We're gonna get Johnny. We'll get him eventually.
Kick him so hard his makeup smears. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll get on him. We'll get him.
Okay.
We're coming for you, Johnny. You don't know when, but we're coming.
So, oh my gosh, guys. Talk to me a little bit about how this run will be a little bit different than your last. I know, in past, I don't want to say past lives, but I guess that's the best term I have for it.
Yeah, we leveled up since then.
Well, you've definitely leveled up, but in past lives...
9,000.
Fair enough. Back in the day, well, man, I just cannot find a good phrase for this. Either way.
Back in our heyday, huh?
Back in your heyday. No, So anyway, you guys are really into like just the crazy stuff. You know, you've talked about the ladders. You've talked about going through tables, and you know, you talked a little bit about your injuries and all of the things that kind of pulled you away from wrestling for a little bit. How does this differ from then?
I'm a little bit smarter, so now I'm not jumping around like, give me the barbed wire, give me the barbed wire, give me the barbed wire. Ooh, table, table, table. Now I'm like, does it make sense? That's where it comes into me. I'm 26 years old. I'm senile and crazy and middle-aged by now. So, if it's something crazy, yeah, I'm probably going to be the first one to jump at the chance to do it. But I might want a little bit more money. Hint, hint, Barry Baker. As for Blitz, he's never been really a big fan of the hardcore stuff. It was mainly me just being like, we're doing this tonight and you're going to like it. And if you get hurt or complain, I'm going to hit you even harder next time. So that sums that up.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I'll be the first to admit I didn't want to really do a lot of the hardcore stuff, but once
I took care of you, didn't I?
Well, once it started, it was just like all the reactions we were getting from the fans and stuff like that. I was just like, you know what? There's something to this. We're gonna keep doing this, and we just kept at it and kept doing it and kept doing it, and you know the fans responded more and more, and you know, like he said, violence was pretty much what we were known for. Kendo sticks, chair shots, tables, flaming tables, pretty much anything you can think of. There was an outside event that we did do a flaming table, and didn't turn out too well. Horrible idea. You got thrown through it, and then the table didn't break.
So I just laid there on the fire like an idiot.
And then we tried doing it again, and it still didn't break.
So I just laid there on the fire like an idiot again.
And then we were like, all right, forget the fire. So we just beat up Fuzz, throw him on the table, and I just jump off of Madrox off the top. Madrox is on the top rope, and I get on the top rope with him, and I climb up on his shoulders, and I jump off there through Fuzz with the frog splash, and then
finally broke it.
Then it finally broke it, but
how many feet do you think that was? Because Madrox is tall. I mean, he makes Johnny Watts look short, and Johnny Watts is probably 5 inches taller than I am. I'm 6'1". No, not at all.
Well, I can say it was about as one of the highest jumps that I've done. Another one was when I jumped off a balcony. That was the only higher one that I actually have done.
You jumped off a roof in Princeton. Not Princeton,
no, Bicknell. But
off a roof.
Okay, the roof was pretty high. Let's just say that. The roof was pretty high.
On top of me.
Yeah, well, you just got in the way. You were supposed to move. I was supposed to hit Fuzz. But
I was distracted by your shiny skin.
Hey, you're the one who told me to climb up there and jump off of it, so
there's no evidence of that.
I'm sure there is somewhere.
Why would I tell my best friend to go jump off a roof on somebody? That's a little bit crazy there.
Because we are crazy. We were crazy. All right, we were crazy at that point in time. We've toned down. I've broken my foot and toned it down. You've taken flaming tables and taken time off, and you're like, I need to rethink my life on this one. And
my paycheck says I need to rethink my life on this one. That's what it cuts down to.
So you guys have talked about concussions and broken bones. Talk about some of the injuries you guys have had.
I'll go first. Countless concussions, staples, stitches, those are nothing anymore. I just use super glue now to save money. I have a fractured skull, 3 ruptured vertebrae in my neck. Both my knees are completely shot and screwed. Every finger and toe has been broken, which that ain't nothing. Broken nose. I've dislocated my jaw. I can still pop it in and out of place. Yeah, that sums me up. What about yourself?
Not as many as you. I've had a few concussions, broke my foot. I've already had banged up knees, and I've banged them up more doing the high flying stuff. Other than that, really not much. Really can say I've been pretty lucky. Knock on wood there, but
that's fake wood.
Well,
I got
press
some wood
board
right here for you, buddy.
Oh.
Close enough. There we go. We'll knock on the floor. It's still wood. Wood's wood to me. So.
No, it's wood to her too.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Should ask her sometime.
I was gonna say that's what she said.
But no, injuries have been pretty well to me, not so well to him. But that's what really. I mean, we've toned it down, but who's to say that at any point in time we can, tone it back up?
So, concussions obviously are, and that's one of the main ones I want to talk about. They're really serious topics nowadays. Of course, you see Daniel Bryan, he left because of concussions, and how many countless others. I mean, you don't want to bring up the Chris Benoit thing, but, aside from the steroids and the roid rage, concussions was a big part of some of the biggest thing that happened to him and his family. Talk a little bit about, are you guys worried that, the concussions are going to have long-term effects on you guys?
Myself, not so much, because I look at it this way. I live one time, so I'm going to live doing what I love no matter what. I don't know about himself, but I'm just out here to have fun and experience life. I care less how I go, when I go. I just want to make sure that when I go, I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, myself, it's a little bit different more for me. I really do think that it's going to eventually have a long-term effect on me, on my health. And somewhat, that's why I've taken some time off before, because when I had the concussion, I felt like it just didn't fully go away. And then I took time off and came back and was pretty much on a run by myself without you, because you had taken time off at that point. And it seemed like it did help taking the time off and just healing up from it, but just, being in a fog and a daze, sometimes it just didn't, it does take an effect on you. And I think if, another back concussion came around like that, I don't honestly know if I'd be able to get back in the ring after that, because of the effect, like you said, Daniel Bryan and Chris Benoit, and I mean, there's tons of other, and I've seen a lot of other people. There's athletes that are, retiring at an early age because of concussions. So, I mean, that's something that, weighs on my mind heavily a lot, because of the fact that right now I am the only sole provider for my family. So, and I mean, I know you are kind of in a similar situation with all that. So, yeah.
So, is it something that, a lot of research is being done for concussions and CTE specifically, because you can't detect that until you die. So guys like Mick Foley and I believe the Sandman, Kevin Nash, all these guys are donating their brains for CTE research. Is that something you guys would consider at some point in your life?
Honestly, myself, no. I would like to keep my brain intact just in case I do come back as a zombie. I think that shit would be fun.
I was going to say the exact opposite. I don't want to come back as a zombie. So, I would donate my brain. I would rather actually donate it and then be cremated just to be safe on the whole zombie thing, because you never really know.
And actually, I want cremated too, and I would donate my brain, all jokes aside, but I want cremated for the simple fact that you can turn your ashes to diamonds now, and I could be totally worth more dead than I am alive. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know that, though. To be continued. I guess that's what we should say anyway. Mike Blitz and Michael Madrox will be back next week talking about some more crazy hijinks. Until then, let's go ahead and get to some upcoming events. Tonight, May 14th, at the Finders Keepers Outlet Mall in Princeton, Indiana, Tri-State Wrestling presents their first off-site show of the summer. It's a free event, and it's outside, so bring a lawn chair. They've partnered with Dean's Amusement to present this show at no cost. Doors open at 6, bell time is at 7. Those are Central Times. Also tonight, May 14th, in Terre Haute, New Wave Pro Wrestling presents Slamming for Shriners at the Shrine Temple at 420 North 7th Street in Terre Haute. They're giving away tickets on our Facebook page. First 5 people to answer our trivia question will win a pair of general admission tickets to that event. And if you don't win, tickets are $5 at the door, and Shriner Kids are free. Doors open at 5:30. The show is at 7. That's Eastern Time. One final event for tonight, May 14th. Elite Wrestling Alliance will have a show at the Max Center in Mount Vernon, Indiana. That's at 6080 Indian Mounds Road. Card features names like AJ Riley, Johnny Richards, Xander Kelly, Matt Diamond, Viper, and many more. Bell time is at 7 p.m. Central Time for this one. Tickets are $10 at the door. Active military and kids 5 and under are free. May 28th, Tri-State Wrestling hosts Proving Grounds from the Vincennes Eagles Club on Willow Street. Zach Hogan and Will Bray battle for the opportunity to choose the stipulation for their match at Night of Champions in June. Tickets are $5 at the door. All proceeds go to the family of Phyllis Miracle Hall, who recently lost her battle with cancer. Kids 4 and under are free. Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time's at 7, and that's Eastern Time. Also on May 28th, our newest partner, Coliseum Championship Wrestling, presents Redemption at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum at 300 Court Street in Evansville. Lots of big names on the card for this event. Be sure to check it out if you're in the area. Tickets are $10 at the door, $5 with military ID. Kids 5 and under are free. You can also reserve a VIP table. Check their Facebook page for more details. Wednesday, June the 1st, New Focus Wrestling has a show at the Evansville Memorial Coliseum. Again, that's at 300 Court Street in Evansville. Match card features names like Tracy Smothers, Cliff Compton, Xander Kelly, Will Bray, Zach Hogan, Scotty Wolf, and many more. Tickets are $10 at the door, $5 with military or veteran ID. Kids 5 and under are free. Bell time is at 6:30 Central Time. Before we go, don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and SoundCloud. Go and rate us. Help let the world know about 10 Count Podcast and 10 Count Blog, and get us on the new and noteworthy list. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can find links to all of those on this article at 10countblog.wordpress.com. You can also check out our social media and podcast page and find them there. We're always accepting blog submissions. Want to write something about wrestling? Send it to us at 10countblog@gmail.com. Thanks to Rollick for allowing us to use Snorkeling into Oblivion as our theme song. Check them out on Facebook and download their music for free. Be sure to check out the Rollick Frolic June 25th at the Vincennes Riverfront Pavilion. Support local indie promotions, get out, pay your money, and see some great wrestling while supporting local guys who are trying to make a name for themselves. Don't forget to visit us at 10countblog.wordpress.com, subscribe on iTunes and SoundCloud, and to be continued. We'll be back with part 2 of our conversation with the Juggernauts next week. Until then, thanks for listening to the 10 Count Podcast.